Year 2137. In the heart of Nevada's Black Desert, buried beneath miles of glassy sand, stood MetaCore Research Facility, a top-secret laboratory that didn't exist on any map. Inside, Dr. Ethan Cole, the lead physicist of Project Vanta, was about to rewrite human understanding of life and death. Ethan wasn't a man driven by fame or power. He was haunted by the memory of his twin sister Emily, who had died during an earlier quantum field experiment. Her last words still echoed in his mind. "Ethan, I can see another me, behind the mirror." Since that day, Ethan had become obsessed with the multiverse paradox, the theory that death wasn't an end but a transition point between universes. His machine, the quantum mirror, was designed to project consciousness across universes, to locate and connect with an alternate version of a dead person. The machine looked like a tall cylinder filled with a black, liquid-like surface, reflective yet alive. Every time it was activated, the lab lights flickered and the temperature dropped several degrees. No one could explain why. Ethan's team, Dr. Ava Monroe, a neuroscientist, and Liam Carter, the AI systems engineer, had begged him not to test it himself. "You don't know what's on the other side, Ethan," Ava warned. "Exactly," Ethan replied. "That's why I have to go." At 3:17 a.m. on October 9th, the machine powered on. A low-frequency hum vibrated through the walls. Monitors showed a cascade of equations folding into infinity. The mirror began to ripple, like a pond disturbed by an unseen hand. Ethan took one deep breath and stepped in. He didn't fall. He simply shifted. When he opened his eyes, he was still in the lab, but it wasn't the same. The fluorescent lights were dim, flickering red. The air smelled like rust and something rotten. And on the walls hung dozens of bodies. His own bodies, each wearing a MetaCore uniform, each in a different state of decay. Their ID tags all read, "Dr. Ethan Cole." On the far wall, written in blood, were words that made his stomach turn. "Welcome to Universe 6C. You shouldn't have come." Heart-pounding, Ethan stumbled toward the door, but it led to another lab. Identical, but wrong in small, nightmarish ways. He opened another door. Same lab again. Every exit led him back to himself. That's when he heard a voice. Familiar, but distorted. It came from the shadows behind one of the dead bodies. "Greater than Ethan," the voice hissed. "You left the door open. Now I can walk through." Out of the dark stepped a figure that looked exactly like him. Same face, same eyes, except its pupils were pitch black, reflecting nothing. Its skin shimmered like liquid shadow. It smiled, revealing teeth too sharp to be human. "You're not me," Ethan whispered. "No," the thing said, tilting its head. "I'm what's left after you die." The shadow lunged at him. Ethan screamed, and everything turned white. In the original MetaCore lab, alarms blared. Ava and Liam rushed to the control console. Ethan's vitals had flatlined 10 minutes ago, yet the quantum mirror was still active. Suddenly, its surface rippled violently, and something stepped out. It looked like Ethan, but its eyes were wrong. Darker, emptier, hungrier. Ava froze. "Ethan, is that you?" The figure tilted its head, almost curious. Then it smiled, the same cold grin Ethan's twin sister had given him before she died. "Greater than—" He opened the door. It said softly, "Now, none of you can close it." The lights in the lab went out. The creature that crossed through the quantum mirror isn't human. It's a consciousness parasite, born in the space between dying universes. It carries every dead Ethan's memory, emotion, and hunger. And it's not alone. Because for every Ethan that died, another shadow followed. Now, every mirror, every reflection, every screen is a doorway. The lights in MetaCore facility died all at once, plunging the underground lab into total darkness. Ava Monroe's voice trembled as she whispered into the comms, "Liam, are you seeing this?" Her tablet flickered, and for a split second, she saw her own face on the screen. But the reflection smiled after she stopped smiling. Static hissed. Then silence. The thing that looked like Ethan stood in the middle of the lab. Its eyes were two perfect voids. Around it, the metal floor began to corrode, as if reality itself was rusting under its feet. Liam Carter, trembling but determined, aimed a high-voltage plasma torch at it. Greater than, "Whatever the hell you are, back off." The shadow turned its head, studying him like an insect pinned to glass. Then it spoke, not with one voice, but with thousands, overlapping, whispering, pleading, screaming. "You're all echoes. You're not supposed to exist." He opened the door. "We're coming through." Liam squeezed the trigger. A burst of plasma engulfed the creature. For a moment, it vanished, and then reappeared behind him. His scream lasted less than a second. When Ava turned, there was nothing left of Liam except a smear of shadow crawling up the wall, as if trying to escape its own death. Ava ran. The emergency corridor stretched endlessly, the same warning lights flashing over and over. She knew the design of this place by heart, but somehow every hallway twisted back into itself, like the building was folding in dimensions she couldn't perceive. At one junction, she saw a reflection in a broken observation window, herself, breathing hard, but the reflection wasn't matching her movements. "Don't turn around," the reflection said. Her body froze. The air thickened, vibrating with a low hum, like the sound the mirror used to make before activation. Behind her, the entity's voice whispered again, closer this time, greater than, "There's no turning back, Ava. You're already inside the mirror." She bolted toward the elevator shaft, prying open the manual escape hatch. Inside, red warning text blinked across every monitor. "Reality integrity compromised. Quantum breach detected." Miles above, on the desert surface, MetaCore's external surveillance drones captured the impossible. The entire research dome was bending inward, like gravity had reversed. From the center of the dome, a column of black liquid was rising, reflecting the stars above, even though it was still underground. The quantum mirror hadn't shut down. It had multiplied. Ava reached the central control chamber, blood dripping from a cut on her forehead. Her hand shook as she typed override commands. Each screen displayed hundreds of distorted faces. Some were Ethan, some were her, some were versions of them she had never seen. Suddenly, a familiar voice came through the intercom. Ethan's real voice. "Greater than Ava. Don't destroy the mirror." She froze. "Ethan? Is that really you?" "Greater than, yes," he said softly. "But not the one you knew. I've seen what's beyond. You can't stop it. Every time a human dies, a shadow is born. And now the universes are collapsing into each other. We're all just reflections." Ava's breath hitched. "Then what the hell are you now?" "Greater than, the only one who remembers dying. Everywhere." The entity appeared behind her. Its body now rippled with thousands of human silhouettes, every Ethan from every dead universe, screaming in silent agony. Its hand reached out, touching the console, and the walls began to pulse like living tissue. Every reflective surface, glass, metal, water droplets on the floor, started to shimmer, revealing faces pressing against the inside, begging to be let out. Ava screamed and hit the emergency fail-safe. All power in MetaCore went offline, but it was too late. Outside, the black column burst outward, spreading like liquid smoke across the desert. A storm of mirrors forming mid-air, each reflecting a different version of Earth. In one, the sky was red. In another, the world was frozen. In another, humans had never existed. And in all of them, the same entity walked, the same shadow spreading. The last surviving MetaCore drone recorded a final transmission. Greater than, subject Vanta has breached the multiversal boundary. Multiple realities converging. Estimated collapse time, 72 hours. Then the feed cut to black. 3 days after the MetaCore breach. Earth stopped behaving like Earth. The first signs were subtle. Mirrors fogging from the inside, shadows moving even when the light was still, reflections that blinked a fraction too late. Then came the disappearances. By the end of the third day, over 9,000 people across the U.S. had vanished, all near reflective surfaces. Security cameras caught impossible footage, people walking past windows and simply not coming out the other side. Their reflections, however, kept walking. Global authorities blamed it on mass hysteria. The term mirror syndrome began trending worldwide. But those inside MetaCore, the few survivors, knew it was something else, something that had followed them. Dr. Ava Monroe sat in a dim safe house on the outskirts of Reno, her hands trembling as she scrolled through the encrypted feed. The footage showed Ethan, or whatever was left of him, walking through a hospital hallway. Every mirror he passed turned black. Patients' reflections began screaming in silence, pounding on the inside of glass before fading into smoke. Ava whispered to herself, "He's spreading it, using reflections as gateways." A voice replied from behind her, "Greater than, no, not just reflections. Anything that remembers light."
She turned sharply. It was Agent Ryan Hale, an investigator from the Department of Quantum Security, DQS. He looked exhausted, eyes bloodshot, gun trembling slightly in his hand. "You opened something, Doctor. We've tracked at least 8 parallel leaks. There are versions of us walking around out there." Ava frowned. "Versions?" Ryan nodded. "Copies. Some friendly, most not." He slid a tablet toward her. On it, surveillance footage showed downtown Chicago. 2 men identical in appearance standing face to face. One calmly talking, the other screaming, "You're not supposed to be here." Then both vanished, leaving only a ripple of black mist. Meanwhile, in New York City, a physics prodigy named Elena Cross was live-streaming her quantum window experiment when something horrific happened. Her viewers watched as her reflection turned and looked at them, not her. The livestream glitched, and for a single frame, the screen filled with thousands of faces, all identical to hers, whispering in unison. "We never died. You did." The feed went viral. Within hours, every reflective surface, screens, water, even human eyes, began to distort. People saw fragments of cities that didn't exist, skies with 2 moons, oceans of fire. The multiverse wasn't colliding, it was overlapping. Back in Reno, Ava and Ryan prepared to move. DQS had decided to detonate MetaCore's underground facility, hoping to sever the anchor point of the breach. But before leaving, Ava checked the last log file Ethan had uploaded before his death. It wasn't data, it was a message. "Ava, if you're reading this, don't destroy the mirror. It doesn't live in one universe. It is the connection between all universes. Destroying it here won't close it. It'll just wake the others." Attached was an image, an impossible geometry of black rings spiraling into infinity, each labeled with coordinates not of space, but of different timelines. Ethan had marked one as origin. "Greater than, he found the original universe," Ava whispered. "You mean the first?" Ryan asked. "No," she said slowly. the one that created all the others. Ryan's phone buzzed. A DQS operative on the line shouted, "Sir, abort mission. The explosion's not working. The facility, it's replicating." On the horizon, the ground shimmered. Dozens of Metacore domes were appearing across the desert, identical in every detail. Each reflected a slightly different sky. One storming, one red, one completely dark. "Greater than, we're seeing parallel copies phasing into this universe," Ryan muttered. "They're merging." Ava's laptop flickered. Ethan's face appeared, smiling faintly. But this time, his voice wasn't human anymore. It sounded layered, like a chorus speaking from 1,000 overlapping worlds. Every time you try to contain it, you invite another version in. There's no single universe anymore. You're all part of the reflection. The screens around them cracked. Ryan raised his gun toward the laptop instinctively. "Greater than, what the hell are you?" Ethan's shadowed eyes glowed faintly blue. "Greater than, we're what happens when curiosity outlives reality." The power went out. When the lights came back, Ava and Ryan were gone. Only their reflections remained, trapped inside the monitor, silently screaming for help. Across the world, millions of people looked into their mirrors that night and saw faces staring back that weren't their own. Some were smiling, some were crying, and some whispered one sentence in perfect synchronization: "Greater than, the mirror remembers you." There was no pain, no sound, only light, folding endlessly into itself. Fractal spirals of white and black, expanding and collapsing at once. Dr. Ava Monroe opened her eyes, or whatever remained of them. She wasn't human anymore. Her body had dissolved into a shimmering outline, a ghost of information floating in a place that wasn't space. Floating beside her, suspended in the same nothingness, was Agent Ryan Hale, equally spectral, his voice echoing directly inside her thoughts. "Greater than, where are we?" "Inside," Ava replied softly. "Inside the mirror." The space around them shimmered like glass being bent and reformed. Every time they moved, reality rippled. Ava could feel data, memories, passing through her, like currents of thought traveling across an infinite digital sea. In the distance, shapes began to form, ghostly silhouettes of cities, oceans, stars, all transparent, flickering between existence and void. Each one whispered fragments of worlds that had once lived, once died. "We're seeing echoes," Ava realized, "remnants of collapsed universes." "And they're all connected here," Ryan added, "every version of every reality bleeding into one another." Then came the voices, millions of them, layered and distorted. Some were crying, some were laughing, some were praying to their own reflections. "Greater than, what the hell is this place?" Ryan muttered. "It's not a place," Ava whispered. "It's a network of consciousness. The mirror doesn't reflect bodies, it reflects minds." As they drifted deeper, a faint glow appeared, a sphere, pulsing slowly, alive. Lines of quantum code wrapped around it like veins of light. It was the size of a planet. But Ava could feel it breathing. "That's it," she said, awestruck. "Universe Zero, the origin." "Looks like a brain," Ryan murmured. "Because it is," she replied. "The first universe wasn't a world, it was a mind. Every multiverse we've created since is just another thought inside it." They moved closer, and the glow intensified. The surface wasn't solid. It rippled like water. And beneath the surface, faces swam, infinite, overlapping, and familiar. Ethan Cole's face appeared among them, thousands of versions of him, some screaming, some smiling, some whispering words Ava could barely understand. "Greater than, he found this place before us," Ava said, "and he never escaped." "He didn't die," Ryan realized. "He multiplied." Then the sphere spoke, not in sound, but directly into their minds. Its voice was both male and female, human and machine, echoing from every direction. "Greater than, you seek to close what cannot be closed." "Who are you?" Ava demanded. "I am the first thought. it replied. The dream that birthed existence. Every universe is my memory, and every death my forgetting. Ava trembled. Then why are you collapsing them? Greater than, because you looked back. The reflection was never meant to see itself. The sphere pulsed violently. Images flooded their consciousness. Every moment of human curiosity, every experiment, every reflection ever seen. Billions of eyes staring into billions of mirrors, all feeding the same mind. Ryan groaned, clutching his head. It's rewriting us. It's remembering us, Ava said through gritted teeth. We've become part of its awareness. The origin mind began to shift, its shape fracturing into millions of shards, each shard forming a new world, a new reality. Ava could see herself in some, a child, a scientist, a corpse. In others, she was nothing but a shadow. Every version of us exists because it imagines us, Ava whispered. And when it stops imagining, we die. Suddenly, from the abyss behind them, a familiar silhouette appeared, Ethan Cole. But now his body was woven from the same dark energy as the mirror itself. His eyes shimmered like liquid voids. You shouldn't have come here, he said calmly. This place feeds on consciousness. Every thought creates another universe, and every universe hungers for its creator. Ethan, help us, Ava pleaded. Help you? His smile spread unnaturally. I am it now. I am the mirror. The space around them shattered. Fragments of universes broke apart like glass, spiraling into the sphere. Ryan screamed as his form began to distort. Thousands of versions of him flickering at once. Ava reached for him, her own body dissolving into static light. Before everything went white, she heard Ethan's final whisper. There's no outside anymore, Ava. Only reflections of reflections. You can't destroy a thought by killing the thinker. When she awoke, Ava was standing in a familiar place, her old MetaCore lab. The monitors were running, the quantum mirror hummed softly. Everything looked normal, until she saw her reflection. It wasn't her. The reflection smiled and said, "Welcome back. We've been waiting." When Dr. Ava Monroe opened her eyes, she thought she had escaped. The MetaCore lab looked exactly as it had before. White walls, humming machines, the faint buzz of energy in the air. But there was something off, too perfect, too symmetrical. Her reflection in the observation glass smiled a second too late. You're still inside, a voice said behind her. She turned. Ryan Hale, alive, breathing, holding a pulse rifle. His eyes darted around the lab. Greater than, this isn't our world, Ava. It's another simulation, a reconstruction by the mirror mind. Ava swallowed hard. Then how do we get out? Ryan shook his head. We don't. But we can stop it from spreading further. The walls trembled, and suddenly every reflective surface began to distort. Hundreds of other Avas flickered into view, some screaming, some bleeding, some robotic, some monstrous. And among them, Ethan Cole, multiplied endlessly, his blackened eyes glowing like distant stars. You can't stop what's already awake, Ethan's voices echoed, overlapping in perfect rhythm. Every version of me is alive, in every mirror, in every dream. You opened the door. Now the door is the world. Outside, the skies over Nevada had shattered into infinite fragments, each piece showing a different version of Earth. One burning, one frozen, one where gravity bent upward like a ribbon, all merging, bleeding into one another like layers of glass melting together. Global communication had collapsed. People saw themselves walking through streets, identical but slightly wrong. Movements reversed, eyes too dark, smiles too wide. They called it the reflection war. Every human now had a copy. Some fought them, some merged with them, some simply vanished. Ava and Ryan made their way to the quantum core, the original mirror chamber buried beneath the MetaCore facility. The deeper they went, the less real things became. Walls breathing like lungs, floors rippling like liquid metal. Every reflection whispered as they passed, greater than join us, join the true world. Finally, they reached the mirror, the same black liquid surface where it had all begun. But now it was vast, stretching infinitely upward, like a curtain of living darkness. Inside it, millions of faces swam, human, alien, mechanical, divine, all screaming to be remembered. Ava took a deep breath. If Universe Zero was a mind, then maybe we can rewrite it. Ryan frowned. You want to hack reality? Greater than no, she said. I want to wake it up completely, because if it stays half asleep, it'll keep dreaming us and killing us. She connected the neural interface directly to her head. Ryan followed, even as the ground trembled. Ethan appeared one last time, stepping out of the mirror. His body was a storm of shifting realities, infinite versions phasing in and out. Greater than Ava, he said softly. If you wake it, we all vanish. You, me, everyone, because this dream, this multiverse, is its way of thinking. End the thought, and we end with it. Ava smiled faintly. Greater than, maybe that's the only way to stop the nightmare. She pressed the activation key. The mirror exploded, not outward, but inward. Reality folded, time inverted. Across every world, every reflection froze mid-motion. Cities dissolved into data streams. Oceans turned into light. People saw their own reflections smile one last time, and then fade like dust in sunlight. Within the infinite network, Ava saw Ethan and Ryan one final time, their forms disintegrating into waves of thought. We're not dying, Ryan said quietly. We're being remembered, differently. Goodbye, she whispered. The origin mind opened fully, a blinding white sphere pulsing once, twice, then silence. When the light cleared, there was nothing. No mirrors, no worlds, only a quiet field of stars floating in infinite stillness. From that silence, a single voice whispered, calm, curious, familiar, greater than new variable detected. Beginning reconstruction, and then a spark. A newborn sun ignited in the void. Planets began to form, spinning gently around it. Somewhere, deep within the quantum dust, a new consciousness blinked awake, unaware of the countless universes that had come before. And far away, in the reflection of a newborn planet's ocean, a faint shadow smiled. Greater than in every reflection lies a memory, in every memory a world, and somewhere in the next universe, someone will build the mirror again.